check out Clownfish. Blah.
Careful chat, you never know who works at Boeing being in chat. And we know how they handle their whistleblowers. Cheer 100.
Don't worry, whistleblowers. The strays will protect you. You have sanctuary in our alleys. Do not worry. Okay. So we talked about Bluesky earlier today. So, Clownfish did a report on it. Let's see how much further in depth they go. Let's just see how fucked up Bluesky is that all the celebrities are touting as Bluesky is the bastion away from Twitter. Let us see.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with
and
Geeky
Blocky.
Sparkle.
Okay, I'm making a change on this one. I'm not going to block Geeky on this one. I'm going to block Neon this time. Sorry, Neon. Geeky's prettier.
Hello?
And we're going to talk about Bluesky, which is kind of like the new, I'm moving to Canada. I'm going to Bluesky. All these celebrities are going to Bluesky. And I don't know how long.
Well, and yes, I'm pausing very early, and I always do, chat. You know me. Yeah, this is the new I'm moving to Canada now that you know who is going to be in the White House. Because this doesn't cost any money to move to Canada. Everybody saying, I'm going to move to Canada is just going, well, moving to Canada is actually a really big deal, and most of us can't, like, the vast majority of us can't afford it. But Bluesky's free, so we'll just move to Bluesky instead. It basically is. No, Crimson, nothing. No one moved to Canada. There was an increase in web traffic of how to move to Canada, and there might have been an increase in applications for residency, I think. But no, nobody actually moved to fucking Canada after the 2016 elections. Nobody did. That's why I said way back when, chat, nothing's gonna happen. We have seen 4 years of this already. We'll get people bitching, moaning, and whining for the next 4 years, of course, and then it'll be done. The world is not going to fucking end like everybody thinks it will.
When this is going to last. They were all kind of raging against Elon Musk buying Twitter a couple of years ago, but they still stayed. And in fact, some of them not only stayed, but they
not really, big
started
dog.
charging subscriptions like George
Yep.
Takei. You know, it was like, you don't hate them. Yeah, oh my, you don't hate them that much, do you? But a lot of them saying they're going to go to Bluesky. Now, here's the thing. Bluesky is becoming 2017 Twitter in a bottle. And, we've got more problems.
Bluesky is drowning under the weight of the leftists reporting everything. 3,000 reports per hour. The past 24 hours, we have received more than 42,000 reports, an all-time high for one day. We've received about 3,000 reports per hour. To put that in context, in all of 2023, we received 360,000. We're triaging this large queue so the most harmful content such as CSAM is removed quickly. I figured, Tysel. I figured. Yeah. So, basically, as quoted here, the leftists that moved to Bluesky because they are reeing over Twitter are reeing over on Bluesky too. Are we shocked? Are we shocked, chat?
This is like watching the dog chase its tail and finally biting it, lol.
Something like that, yeah. And McCargo, you give them too much credit. This is, again, we're talking about a collective of people who come from the everyone gets a trophy generation, and they've never actually been challenged in their lives. And so they flip out because the news that they worship as ever being biased tells them they should. And their favorite celebrities tell them they should. And yes, we agreed. It's attention seeking. Absolutely. It's that too.
Problems over on Bluesky, I think, than Twitter ever had, because now Bluesky's safety It's saying, and within a day of a bunch of people going over there, so the past 24 hours, we have received more than 42,000 reports, an all-time high for one day. We're receiving about 3,000 reports per hour. To put that into context, in all of 2023, we received 360,000 reports. It said it's a large queue, so the most harmful content such as CSAM, which is kitty.
Yeah, Rygat, you're right. It is. It's the blue-haired cesspool, and they're all offended at each other because, as I have said, the leftist side will not hesitate to eat each other. They will not hesitate. At the teeniest sign of any weakness, they will eat one another. And as I said before, like, that's the one thing you have to give the right side credit for, is they will back the hell out of each other, and until it's basically they have no option to otherwise.
Stuff is being removed quickly, but basically everybody that was a pain in the ass on Twitter went over to Bluesky.
Yes.
And they're all narking on each other.
Yeah, because you have to eat each other, because else you can eat. So, like, they're over there, and then I'm offended. Now, a lot of it I do think is CSAM stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people just like, I'm over here, but now I don't have any, Yahtzees to get mad about. But you're here.
Nope.
I don't like your tone. That's a microaggression, complaint.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
exactly.
They're
They make
eating
it very,
themselves.
yeah, they make it very easy to flag content. And I mean, I'm going to talk about this a little bit because we talked about it in the podcast. Speaking of which, if you go out to clownfishminus.com or clownfishtv.locals.com, we do post podcast episodes out there you will not get on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But I did one the other day talking about Bluesky and the numbers. And it basically is, one big safe space, one big hug box. But
it is
so bad that Jack Dorsey, who started Twitter, who was actually one of the guys.
Gorthor, a microaggression is basically where you basically, it's a microaggression is the modern day version of passive aggressive. That's what a microaggression is. People that actually have brains and intelligence would know it as simply just being someone being passive aggressive. That is now being labeled as a microaggression.
Guys who started Bluesky left in May of this year and told everybody to use X instead. Okay,
Sorry,
so that's not really a vote of confidence. So it's basically the
and then
worst
it's gotten
of
worse
Twitter.
since then. It's gotten worse since then.
Oh yeah, everybody's running over there, and I poked my head in. I actually had an invite last year, and it was like a ghost town, but now it's literally just the worst of Twitter all in one place.
Yeah. So what was supposed to be the bastion away from Twitter literally is Twitter's shit dumping grounds. That's what it is. It is literally Twitter's toilet. All of the shit from Twitter is going over here. All of the reeing, screeching idiots are leaving Twitter and going to Bluesky, and Twitter is actually becoming the very Twitter is probably going to become the quote-unquote bastion that these people were trying to escape to.
If you want that, and that sounds great to you, fantastic. Just know you're not gonna be able to voice any dissenting opinion whatsoever.
It's funny because I was saying something squeaking about it, and he said, from my understanding, it's basically like what Tumblr was before X became Tumblr.
Yep.
And now it's like all that, so for 8 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever, all of that is Bluesky now.
He doesn't understand. There actually was kind of a golden era of Twitter, but I would say it was 2008 through 2013, and then it started to get really freaking weird when all the refugees from Tumblr and LiveJournal all started.
Yeah, people were just sharing their art, and it was really really positive. A lot of cat videos. A lot of
art. That's a good definition. Because a leftist needs to be offended by something, because that is how they have chosen to identify their existence, is being terminally upset about everything. They will take the slightest thing that you say and twist it to be offensive. That's actually probably a better descriptor than what I gave. Yeah.
Yay.
Not a lot of fights. I mean, every once in a while people would get into it.
But people weren't triggered where they are now. Basically, I think what it is you have a bunch of
Yeah, Leo, it's called the vast majority of the rest of the population of the planet. That's someone who isn't alt-left or alt-right, which is basically all there is now, is literally the gargantuan-sized swath of people in the middle that don't bother with stupid-ass identifiers and just say, I'm me and I exist, and that's it. So they don't have a term because they don't need a fucking term. Not everything needs to have a label. Okay, I'll keep the video paused. Not everything needs a fucking label anymore. And unfortunately, both of these extremes are so hell-bent on labels that they've either forgotten or choose to forget that it's not necessary. You don't need to label fucking everything. You can just, like, Leo, someone says, oh, what are you? It's like, huh? Or are you on the left or are you on the right? It's like, I'm neither. I don't fucking care. That's what the vast majority of people are. The vast majority of people, if you were asked, what are you? Their response is, I do not fucking care. I just want to get through my day, not get mugged, be able to actually afford groceries, be able to hug my children and make them happy and make sure they get a decent education. I don't ascribe to any fucking ideology other than being a normal fucking person. That's what has been forgotten. Or been pushed to the side, actually. Not forgotten, but pushed to the fucking side. And now the people with the loudest voices and have access to the loudest megaphones are on these extreme sides of the equation, and nobody's hearing the mumblings of everybody in the middle that does not fucking care. That's it. You take the megaphones away from both of these sides, you take their megaphones away, the world would be a very different place. If you didn't have both of these sides that have major outlets that are broadcasting this shit 24 hours a day over every form of media, things would be very different because the vast swath of people in the middle do not care.
Younger people who never grew up in reality, like, you know, what it was for like 20 years, deciding that everything's a trigger and that it's all about them. And I think that's what a lot of it is, because the majority of people who, you know, have grown up and been around a while, they know that it was like a time where you could have opinions and it was fine, and you know, you didn't have to hate somebody just because they voted differently, and not everything was a trigger, and not everything was a microaggression.
Yeah,
people got along fine. You know, this whole narrative that, you know, oh, thank God they just invented diversity and inclusion, which is a load of shit. You know, people like that, they know, they've been around it before. And then you have these young people coming in telling everybody else what they're supposed to think because that's what their perception of reality is. And I'm just like,
well, and the young people are getting fucking brainwashed. They're getting brainwashed right from the fucking jump these days. Because with young people, they look up to and aspire to basically celebrity. Be it social media celebrity or actual celebrity. They're being brainwashed by all the shit that they're broadcasting on their social media platforms. And so if their favorite celebrity says that you should think this way, they're going to go, I want to be just like them. It's fucking basic kid growing up 101. Is children want to feel like they belong. That's a big thing. When you're growing up as a young child, you want to belong. And this is giving them something like they feel they can belong to because there are other people involved in it. The problem is, what they're getting involved in is detrimental to their mental well-being and to society writ large. So that's part of the problem, is that, you know, young people getting on social media with like Twitter and TikTok, which fucking take the Twitter and TikTok away from kids under the age of like 17 or 18. And like, let them actually grow up and be kids. Let them actually engage with other people, engage with their peers, and actually grow up to be able to actually think. Because critical thinking skills are at an all-time low. And that is contributory to why we're seeing these kids getting brainwashed, is because they're not being taught critical thinking skills, either by their parents or in schools. And this is leading to them very easily being manipulated by news agencies, by celebrities, by social media. They're very easily influenced because they don't know how to look at something critically and go, does this make sense? Do I actually believe in this? It's like, no, I have to believe in this, or this has to make sense to me because I want to belong to something that seems important, and I can belong to this thing that seems like it's important. And thus, they become brainwashed. Like, honestly, like, to fix the issue with young people, it's actually not all that difficult. This is something that I actually don't think is difficult. Take the fucking social media away from them and actually teach the kids. If the schools aren't going to teach critical thinking, parents, teach your children critical thinking skills. Teach them to look at something and evaluate it for themselves. Do that, and the rest of the stuff will kind of fall into place.
Not let the door hit you in the ass on the way out,
Yeah, so let's talk about this a little bit more again, guys. Please give us a sub. If you give us a sub, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
Check out clownfish-.com, where we have our minus club, plus club, whatever.
We need a doll.
Hey, and hang on. Thanks for all the fish. I'm gonna call this out in a positive way, in a good way. Critical thinking and a tough skin for when things don't go their way. 100% correct. Yes. Absolutely correct. It's critical thinking, but also not everything is going to go your way. So you have to develop that tough skin to be able to deal with things not going your way. If you cannot deal with, you can have critical thinking, but you also have to be able to handle when it doesn't go exactly the way you want it, or things go very badly. You have to learn to roll with the hits that life delivers to you. If you can't do that, you can't function in society. So fish, excellent point.
All that when you pull the cord, it says woohoo.
Oh God, I'd be afraid. I'd be afraid
Well, I don't see what happens to the doll. I'm just saying.
Like, I'm gonna buy a Geeky Sparkles woohoo doll. It's like, what exactly is that? Her hair is brushable too.
Yeah, I had that brushable hair. A battle brush.
But yeah, so I don't know. That could go to places I don't want it to go. I don't want it to go there. But check that out. Check out clownfishtv.locals.com. Mirroring the same content over there. We've actually had people ask about us going over to locals. We're going to be doing more with Rumble, hopefully. Try not to put all of our eggs in one basket, because things are really changing.
Yes, Neon. That's what I'm doing. Every video I upload to YouTube, I simultaneously upload to Rumble. I have my entire catalog both on YouTube and Rumble because, nowadays, with the way the major social media platforms are working, you can't have all your eggs in one basket. It's not doable. You have to, at least with the videos, you have to diversify. Zip ties, it's fine. Unfortunately, the one thing Rumble has against it is I don't have a good creator dashboard to see how good the videos are doing over there. Plus, Rumble is absolutely fucking infested with bots. And I would say the majority of comments made on all of my videos over on Rumble are probably from bots. So Rumble does have a horrible bot problem that I wish they would fix. Yeah, well, Massacre, I've been considering it. I've been weighing my options there of doing simulcasting. I have. Right
now, but this is funny. It is
funny.
Libs of Bluesky, which I'm assuming is Libs of TikTok. I don't know. Bluesky drowning under the weight of the leftists, reporting everything. 3,000 reports per hour. We got a lot of comments here. Bluesky is just going to exist as comedy material for X, isn't it? Yeah, probably.
Yes, it is. It is.
This is what happens when your audience has a tendency to be authoritarian. This person.
I'm not I would not be 100% convinced to label the leftists like this authoritarian. There's an excellent argument for it. There is an excellent argument for it, for the leftists to be labeled, to be considered authoritarian. I don't know. It feels like that doesn't seem like it's the correct term. It doesn't. I mean, me personally, I'm just perfectly comfortable with calling them DEI assholes. But if you want to have like an official name for it or something, I'm not 100% convinced that authoritarian is quite the right word. I'm just, yeah. I don't know. I don't know about communists because because communists is more about like the government. I understand, yeah, they want control of it, but they don't have it. I don't know. I'd have to actually think about it harder than I am now off stream. Well, I really kind of like dig into it, which actually, I don't know. I kind of hate digging into that kind of stuff because it always depresses me. Well, so now it's not socialist, not in the vein where they're always like microaggressing or basically, calling you an istophobe for fucking everything. So, yeah, rare breed fascist is probably closer. It actually probably is than authoritarian. Fascist is probably a closer, more accurate descriptor than authoritarian, honestly, with how they behave. So ideologues, perhaps. So yeah, that's why it's like authoritarian doesn't actually feel right. Fascist or ideologues does seem more fitting. Totalitarianism. God, that's a tongue twister. I don't know. Yes. So that also seems to fit. So yeah, there's a lot of descriptors that could be used. This one doesn't quite feel like right.
Says I have an account.
Yes.
It's an echo chamber. They put me on a block list because I had MAGA in my bio, and I'm constantly being attacked just for posting Trump won. You're not allowed to speak the truth.
No, you're not allowed to, that you cannot say what.
So it's DEI social media. It's DEI social media. Who remembers when Trump tried to start his own social media platform, which failed abysmally? The Truth Social. This is basically Truth Social. Just the other version of it, the left version of it. Truth is still there? Okay, I thought it failed. I thought it failed. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay. I have heard nothing about it. That's why I thought it failed. I'd heard nothing about it for years. So, no, not Parler. Not Parler. Although Parler could be lumped in there. But yeah, this is the left version of Truth Social or Parler. It absolutely is. It's because this is the left version of it.
That's real. You have to tote the narrative. It's an echo chamber of bullshit, and they're going to be like, we don't understand how we're so far removed from everybody else.
That happened last time
because of this stuff.
So remember back in 2020, if you said, or 2021, hey, I had some side effects from a certain vaccine on Twitter before Musk bought it. It's like that, because you were not allowed to say that without 50,000 rando accounts dogpiling you and telling you you're spreading misinformation. And then finding out that your account's been kind of deboosted or shadow banned. Nobody was seeing your stuff because, God forbid, you have a dissenting opinion, right? David Dean says it's like high school full of hall monitors.
No, Alex, no, don't talk about that.
Same thing happened to Mastodon.
He
just complained about censorship and they returned to X. So, wow, it really is a tough choice, isn't it? Because you've got X, which I never thought would basically become 4chan. And that's kind of...
Wait, Did this happen to Mastodon? Users complained about censorship and they went back to X? Because again, Mastodon's not one that I really heard about. I remember when X's API went private with us at the Rats, we have an alert system. We used to have an alert system with Rats where the Rats had a Twitter account. And our tech rats were able to use the API. So in the IRC channel, if we ever had a case and there was no one around that could take it because it was specialized, like it was on a console or something like that, and we needed a rat, we could actually send out a tweet saying that we needed a rat. And, okay, Rare, have a good night. Okay, Rare. We would send out a tweet on Twitter that we needed a rat. And when Elon Musk bought it and made the API private, we couldn't use Twitter anymore for that. So we went to Mastodon, which we rarely, if ever, use now anymore. And honestly, that's the only thing I know about Mastodon. I know nothing else about Mastodon, and I've never even used it myself.
Where we're at, but it's a lot of fun. No, it's not that bad. It's a lot of fun though. It's actually I'm actually
Threads was barely that for myself.
That Elon Musk bought
nobody
Twitter.
gave a shit about Threads.
I mean, yeah, there's some people there maybe posting some shit that I wouldn't post, but whatever. It feels kind of like it was in 2008, 2010. You know,
I know,
with more politics.
But Andrew, I'm sure there's probably plenty of that going. Don't bring it up. I don't want to. I don't want to know about that. I'm sure it's happened heartbreakingly too many times. I don't want to know about it. That kind of stuff, I don't need to hear about it. Because I know it happens, and that's enough. The examples are unnecessary.
This is funny.
Which one here?
This one. They got banned for questioning the election.
Oh, really?
Yes, apparently they're taking some stances on the other side, too.
Nobody seems to be seeing my post stating that Bluesky permanently banned me for saying the election was rigged.
Election denier.
Election denier.
What? That the election was rigged in favor of... So they're eating each other. Amazingly. Amazingly, they're eating each other. This person was actually doing what the other side was doing back in 2020. They're doing the exact same thing, but for the left. And they're getting banned from it on Bluesky. Again, they will eat each other with the slightest provocation.
Uh-oh.
Must be so weird inside their heads. A lot of people are broken. I saw a tweet the other day, and I think she's a doctor or a PhD or something. She was going on about how so many women now are basically preparing for the apocalypse.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
They're transferring money into their own accounts. They're buying a bunch of bottled water, and they're getting ready to file for divorce because they want to live the Handmaid's Tale.
This is what blows my mind. First of all, the Handmaid's Tale is fiction. It's not real. Just because your husband voted, doesn't mean that you have to didn't vote the way you did, or you might not even know how they voted. Honestly, you have to divorce them because they told you to. I mean, you know your husband better than they do. You've been married to this person. You made the choice to marry this person. You've been married to them for a while. I would assume that you know whether or not they're a good or bad person. That you don't need the fucking idiots on Bluesky to tell you what you should feel and think about your.
Dear Kyra, my wife had anti-communist thoughts. I could tell by the look of your presentation. For God's sake. Okay, that's just funny. That overwhelmed by their own intolerance and each other. Still waiting to be reported. Must try harder. Oh God.
Your relatives, but if you're that stupid and if you're that brainless and you're dumb enough to shave your head and get divorced because and stock.
Wait, they also don't get paid on Bluesky. Hard for Joe Jerwiz to make any dollars just complaining all day long. That's a big one. That's a big one. These people that are flocking to Bluesky, they're not going to be able to make money like they could on Twitter. They're going to realize that really fast and go, oh wait, I can't actually make money by posting stupid tweets. So I better go back to Twitter's, because that way I can do stupid tweets and actually get paid for it. And Alex, they're obsessed with The Handmaid's Tale because because Handmaid's Tale is basically an over-exemplification of authoritarianism, with basically, it's a fictionalized, huge over-exaggeration of authoritarianism. And so they like to try and point that out along with other historical things, erroneously, I'm going to mind you, and equating it to one group or another. So The Handmaid's Tale is just like one little like snowball that these people can throw. That's what it is. It's all about the same damn thing.
Pile of water because you're so dumbass that you think that that somehow your rights have been changed when they haven't been. Well, then I guess it's a win for the person you're divorcing because you're just a piece of shit.
It's I can't. I mean, look, you want to know what Twitter would have been in 2024 if Elon Musk didn't buy it?
Yeah.
Just look at Bluesky.
Yeah, he's right. Because, excuse me. Again, Twitter was a fucking cesspool before Elon bought it. When Elon bought it, he stopped making it only about one particular type of voice. And Bluesky is becoming Twitter pre-Elon. Zip, Twitter, no. I know people love saying Twitter is worse now. Twitter's always been bad. Twitter only seems like it's worse because of the events that have been happening in life for the last 10 years. And people are just voicing that displeasure on Twitter in a wide variety of ways. I'm going to say this flat out right now. And this is as someone who does not give a fuck about Elon. I don't consider Elon space daddy or a tech guru or a genius or a wise individual, nothing like that. I don't give a fuck about Elon. Okay? Twitter is not worse because Elon bought it. It's basically the same. It's just continued to evolve as society has evolved in terms of how people attack each other. Elon has nothing to do with what is happening on Twitter. He doesn't. Yeah. Well, yeah, he fired a bunch of staff that were banning people left and right for dissent. That's what he did. And as far as as far as chasing away large amounts of advertisers, okay, so what? So he chased away advertisers. I don't see a problem. I see there's no big deal there. But the fact is, though, what is happening on Twitter is basically the natural evolution that's coinciding with how society has continued since he purchased it. It's just a reflection of it. Because saying that, he's banning only one side, you know what? All I seem to hear on Twitter is that one side he's supposedly banning. That's all I'm seeing. So the ones that are claiming we're getting banned for having those opinions, those are the only ones I seem to hear about these days. So no, I don't think Elon buying Twitter made it worse. I think Twitter's the same as it always has been, an absolute shit show, which is why I don't use it other than making stream announcements. I don't use Twitter for anything else otherwise, because it's a shit show regardless. It was a shit show before he bought it, it was a shit show after he bought it. It's going to continue to be a shit show. Owns it is not going to make a difference. Unless the person that owns it, seriously locks down everything, it's going to continue to be this way. Social media at large is a fucking cesspool of humanity. Twitter, Facebook, Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. Every single bit of it is a fucking cesspool. YouTube is not as bad because YouTube is long form. It's far easier to turn something short form into a shit show than it is long form. So YouTube is not as bad. Definitely got its problems. Absolutely. But it's not as bad as the short form social media. And Twitch, again, has its problems. For sure. Is not as bad as the short form social media. So it doesn't matter which platform it is. It's all shit. It's all garbage. No matter who's running it.
I like the one where they were taking that video from that one, I think it was like a Democrat meeting or something.
Oh,
and they're
no,
using
it was the communist. Yeah, we can actually play it. We should,
about the same thing.
Yeah, that was...
I saw that. Their dad laughed so hard. I'm like, I remember that video.
Let's look at that, because that's coming up.
Just remember, you kids have to stop the chatter. I get triggered. And they didn't show the whole video, but the rest of the video, he keeps interrupting and saying that you need to stop talking. You need to stop talking.
Hang tight. Let's find that video, because that's basically what's going on.
It is.
Oh, I want to see this.
So yeah, this video, this was like the, I don't know, socialist or Marxist convention in 2019. It was making the rounds a couple of years ago, and now that...
Discord is fairly good because it's more compartmentalized. Discord is not so open. Discord it's groups. Discord is all groups. There really isn't any big generalized Discord stuff. It's a collective of groups where you can commiserate with people that share the same interests as you, and and people can just, the people that create the groups, yeah, there's disharmony on Discord too, but it's not as like open as the other social medias.
Bluesky is a thing, and it's buckling under the weight of all the narking.
Okay.
People are bringing this up and saying this is basically what's going on over there.
Oh, show me, Nia.
He, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on.
You don't live in the real world.
Very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus.
Watch them waving their hands and stuff.
Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Yes, son.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
What the fuck?
Quick point of
Okay, I don't know if they were making fun of the first guy that was speaking, where he was saying keep the chatter to a minimum. He was getting sensory overload. That one... That sounds autistic to me. No. I don't know if people were making fun of the first guy that was speaking, asking about keeping the chatter down because he was getting sensory overload. They were not. Okay, because I was gonna say that sounds quintessentially autistic for someone that gets like sensory overload like that. Immediately I went, oh, sensory overload. That sounds like he might be autistic. High functioning, but autistic. Okay. No. Okay, you misunderstood. I understand that the video is, like, true. Like, the video is not, like, a joke video where it's not a comedy skit, anything like that. That's not what I was saying. I was saying I'm hoping that people were not, like, the first guy talking about getting sensory overload is I hope that people didn't automatically go, oh, the poor baby's got sensory overload or something, because my first thought is sensory overload points immediately to autism, and I'm very aware of how that is absolutely a thing. I wasn't referring to anything else when I'm talking about that. And yeah, the point of personal privilege thing, yeah.
To address everyone.
What the fuck?
Quick point of privilege once again. Hi, James Jackson, Sacramento DSA, he, him. I have already asked people to be mindful of the chatter of their comrades who are sensitive to sensory overload, and that goes double for the heckling and the hissing. It is also triggering to my anxiety. Like,
oh, yeah, you know what?
Comradely isn't just for, like, let's keep things civil. Or
Pause for a second. It's triggered my anxiety. You know how many people have anxiety issues in the world? A lot. And you know how many
Chat, I need context. Where did this happen? What is this and where the fuck did this happen? Democrats, Socialists of America. Really? Okay, well, I mean, like, Crimson, like I said, this guy that was talking about the chattering, now, he amped it up and was talking about it's triggering my anxiety, so that I'm starting to not feel so bad. But of course, one of the first thing is, like, the one guy was like, can we please stop putting fucking gender qualifiers in? It's completely unnecessary. Like, okay, I'll keep it paused, but the guy who was talking about, like, can we please stop? Oh, and by the way, what the fuck is the point? When does point of personal privilege mean you get to fucking just butt your ass in and interrupt anything? Like, what the hell is that? Like, seriously, what is that? That you can just suddenly just go point of personal privilege and just spout off about whatever. It was at a California college campus. I mean, that tracks. That fucking tracks. So I'm guessing this is going to devolve into everyone just screaming point of personal privilege to just espouse about whatever the fuck they want. Like, I'm guessing they don't have anyone up here to facilitate order, telling people, shut the fuck up. Y'all get to talk one at a time. There's no point of personal privilege bullshit. They just basically, everyone gets a trophy. Oh my sweet fuck. Okay, let us continue to watch this train wreck.
Many people that a lot of people that you don't like have anxiety issues. Do you give two shits about their anxiety issues? Hell no. And it's like, just because you have triggers, you're responsible for your own damn triggers, not everybody else. I'm sorry, but you are. And a lot of people have anxiety issues. Get over it.
This is why they get so pissed off at YouTubers, because they try to control them. They get pissed off at us because they're used to, because we talk about, animation and comic books, and
a lot of these people come from there.
A lot of these people are into that sort of thing, right? And they get mad at us because we don't pussyfoot around. We don't,
Good. That's why I like watching Clownfish, because they don't fuck around.
So so we're the literal devil because we spit facts.
Crimson, point of privilege is a made-up fucking term. Point of privilege is, if you were to take that at face value, what they're saying, point of personal privilege. If you were to take that at point value, the person who stands up and says point of personal privilege is literally saying, I consider myself more important than all of you. I know, Crimson. I'm just basically expositing. When one of these people stands up and says point of personal privilege, they are telling this entire auditorium, I am more important than all of you. You will listen to me because I say so, because I consider myself better than you. That's what point of personal privilege is.
So literally, no one's supposed to have any discussion whatsoever, not whisper, not talk to anyone. It's perfectly quiet. So this one dipshit doesn't get triggered at the event.
Then don't leave your house. I think a lot of these people don't leave their houses very often.
Alex, my opinion, this is a light amount of Tumblr users in the same room. If they got a more accurate version of Tumblr users, there wouldn't be any room to breathe in here. Let's be honest.
Now we'll watch.
There's more. Oh my god.
There's more. We'll watch a little bit more and then we'll wrap this
up. It's
up.
so that people aren't going to get triggered and so that it doesn't affect their performance as a delegate, okay? Your need to express yourself is important, but your need to express yourself should not trump or
I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important because those
I need to hear that again. I need to hear that again. My brain just short-circuited at the sheer stupidity of that. I must hear it again.
Trump or overall.
I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important because those
Because I'm not engaging. You know, because people are flapping their fingers. Now, are you fucking... Yeah, Leo, yes, you're right.
You are made of stupid.
I fucking can't with this. You're not clapping for me. Maybe it's because I'm not engaging, like... Okay. You know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of, chat? How many of you have ever seen NYPD Blue? How many of you have ever seen that? NYPD Blue. Anybody ever seen it? Like, fucking classic cop show back in the day. Okay. For those of you that have seen NYPD Blue, how many of you remember when they would get the criminals, the detectives would bring the criminals in, and these are like street criminals, mind you. Street criminals. And the street criminals would be talking to the police, and they would use these big words. Like they're trying to sound smart, and it sounds incredibly forced. Like they're trying to say, he wasn't doing, like they were trying to say something like, he was interfering with my business, and as a businessman, that was just not copacetic for me. Like, trying to use big vocabulary for someone like a street-level thug. Mind you, a street-level thug using highbrow vocabulary, and it sounded completely off. It sounded like this guy is forcibly trying to make it seem like he was smarter than he actually is. Emperor, I've seen, like, my older members of my family have watched it. They've lauded it incredibly, so I've watched, like, some episodes and some clips on YouTube before. That's how I know about it. And, you know, for the time that the show was, it made a stamp on the world, so it stuck with me with all of the videos I've seen of it. But they were trying to sound smarter than they really are. That's what this is. He's trying to sound way smarter than he actually is. And using big words to make it seem like he's basically trying to say, I am more intelligent than you. Listen to me talk. Listen to, I am able to enunciate. And I have a higher level of vocabulary than you are. That's what this feels like with this fucking guy. He's not speaking like a normal person. He's using supposedly highbrow buzzwords that everybody's already onto.
loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something like reducing that, that's really important.
Yeah, but they do that.
I'm reminded of the second case of Phoenix Wright. Ace Attorney Red White uses lots of big words, some of which aren't even real, to make himself sound smarter than he is.
Yeah, that's basically it. That is basically it.
Yeah, though, that thing there, they use it in schools. A lot of times, elementary schools.
I was going to say...
Because you have kids that are, sensory or autism. And then they do that instead of clapping to try to make it quieter for the kids that might be overstimulated. We're talking about children.
That's one.
I guess this is the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. I was gonna say, like, I've noticed about a lot of these people, and they
the
act
pauses
this
were
way
kind of
on
off,
social
Leo.
media too, is they try to talk to adults like they're children.
Game, those AI voice things, they're Tangia. You can see that in the stream info below. There's a thing for Tangia. That's where you can find those AI voices.
Like, okay, everybody, but then we've got people that are in their 30s that are pissed off that some YouTubers don't like their fucking cartoon show because of all the fucking or implied fucking. And they get all triggered by it because they're used to being in these safe spaces.
I can make gestures too without sound. You can't see them, but they're up.
Geeky's jazz hands. There's one.
Same middle finger on each.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. So do your jazz hands, everybody.
I can tell you exactly what I think of you without talking.
Everybody jazz hands.
A lot of those are invisible disabilities. You don't know who it is that is having a more difficult time navigating this space, and this space was not created with all of their needs in mind. So it's up to us.
Okay, pause it for a second. Here's another thing as a teacher. IEP stuff and that. Okay, look, you have individual education plans for kids because you have a lot of kids with different needs. And you're trying to meet all these needs. But there's no way in hell you can meet all the needs. There's just no way. And be able to maintain a classroom full of kids. So what happens is the kids that don't have special needs, they get kind of shafted for all the ones that do because you have to meet all these needs. And if you don't meet all the needs, then the parents come and start screaming because little Timmy didn't get every IEP met, even though there's no fucking possible way that every IEP could.
And by the way, what Geeky's talking about here, where so many kids now in schools are having these IEPs because they are quote-unquote special needs. How many of them are actually special needs? And how many of them is just parents thinking their sweet little snowflake is special and should be treated special? Because guarantee you that's a fucking problem. If there was this level of special needs and mental disability on the rise like this, you'd have heard about it. You would have heard about it. So, I would really question how much of these IEPs are geared towards people with actual disabilities. As someone who has a family member that is legit special needs, who is severely autistic, I'm very aware of how important an IEP is. But the person in my family is severely autistic. They are delayed in their mental development by several years. And that's how it's always been. This is not like, only since this person became a teenager or something, and social media has rotted their brains, so now they're behind a year or two in literacy or something. No, the person in my family has been delayed since birth, mentally, because of the severity of the autism. There's a significant delay in development. So I'm intimately aware of IEPs with they're called something different in Canada, but they basically I'm very aware of how that works in school. I would question in the US, especially in California, how many of these students that are categorized as quote special needs unquote are actually special needs and not just the parents calling them their special snowflake and thinking they should be treated differently because they're special to the parents and do not actually have diagnosed conditions. That is what I would question. If you were to look at it from a social standpoint, there's like an explosion of people that are special needs or has some kind of mental disability in the vein of ADHD, autism, mental retardation, pick your mental disorder. So just from a sheer what people talk about in social media, you would think there's a fucking apocalyptic amount of individuals suffering from this. How many of them are actually diagnosed? Legitimately diagnosed? 1%? Maybe? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And J10, with it being my family, I'm very aware of the cues of in regards to autism. Because I've been intensely exposed to it. in regards to someone having it, being able to see the behaviors and being able to recognize them. So yeah, it's like the one guy at the beginning of this video who's talking about that he has sensitivity to, you know, the sensitivity to the overstimulus, and that's why I went, oh wait, is he just high functioning autistic? And then he said, it's triggering my anxiety, and I went, oh, he's just piggybacking off of autistic traits to make himself seem special. There it is.
He met for Timmy and meet all the IEPs for everybody else, or even the minimum for everybody else. Because it's all about the special snowflakes. And in some cases, that people legitimately have issues that they need help with. But a lot of people are just, you know, I decided I'm this.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
and my trigger is, you know, you telling me no.
That's kind of what happened. That was definitely a cultural thing, or that's what I think Tumblr contributed to the culture, is a bunch of people who wanted to be special. It wasn't enough just to be you. It wasn't enough to be like, okay, well, I've got a special situation. It was like, oh, no, we all have to have special situations.
Well, that's like, you know,
to feel special.
It's like, okay, so it was enough to be LGBTQ, but now you have to be, or like, you know, you could be, you know, lesbian or gay, but that's not enough now.
No.
Now you have to have extra steps. Now you have to be trans. Now you have to have extra steps. And then you have, you know, so you have, I have more privilege points than you.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about LGBT anymore. It's LGBT with ADHD, and non-binary, and autistic, and fuck, I don't know what else. Like, they basically, like, people have been taking the flavor of the month when it comes to being special. It started off as, if you're gay, if you're LGBT, you're special. We saw a lot of people start identifying as LGBT, coming out as LGBT. Then that became mainstream. LGBT effectively became mainstream, and people were not treating them special anymore because they came out as being LGBT. So now they have to go, well, I also have ADHD. Oh, you have ADHD. That's a mental disorder. Okay, we're going to treat you special now. You have ADHD. Well, that became mainstream. And grotesquely over-medicated, might I add. So now it's not just ADHD. Now it's, oh, I'm autistic because I'm quirky. Because, yeah, that's what people are fucking doing. People that act quirky label themselves as autistic. And so now that is probably one of the current flavors of the month, day, year, whatever you want to call it. And pretty soon that's going to end up being mainstream. So then they're going to jump onto the bandwagon of whatever new shiny mental disorder has become popular. It is literally just about a fucking popularity contest at this point. And it's grievously insulting to people that actually are afflicted by the mental disabilities, or the people that just want to live their lives as ADHD. Or, as LGBT. Like, the people that actually are LGBT and just want to live their lives in peace, people jumping on their bandwagon pissed them off. I know they did. People that actually have ADHD, and they jumped on that bandwagon. People with ADHD would, you have no fucking clue the kind of hell I go through trying to live with ADHD. Fuck off. Now they're jumping on with people with autism because a very large portion of people that are autistic don't recognize what they're doing, because people with autism, their brain chemistry, their brain wiring is completely different. So they're not actually calling them out, because the vast majority of people that are autistic, they don't honestly care. They just do their own thing. They're not like social activists in any way, shape, or form. So it's safe to jump on the autism bandwagon. Yeah, I'd say that might be the next step Robo-Spartan's possible, or some other mental disorder. But the fact that everybody's like jumping on the label of autism pisses me off. Because as someone with autism in their family, I know autism. It isn't fun. It's downright heartbreaking sometimes when you have a family member who is autistic and you want them to be able to do all the stuff that traditionally speaking, a child does. And they can't. Because something with their autism is just preventing them from either grasping it or causing them to be afraid of it or something of that nature. It's fucking heartbreaking a lot of times. It is. You have no idea how often I've wanted this person in my family who has autism to be able to just do something with them. I'll say to them hey, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? There are only a few activities that the person in my family wants to engage in. And if you try and get them to do other activities, they don't want to. Because their brain is saying, no, this is not part of the pattern. It doesn't work right. And they get upset. And it's heartbreaking because it's something that they might have fun with, but their brain is telling them, no, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Oh, God. Sorry. You guys know I get like this when I talk about him. Yeah. It angers me. It angers me to no end. When people jump on the autism bandwagon and just go, I'm autistic, or they characterize autistic.
Cheer 100. Okay, chat time to cheer up the kitty.
Thank you, Demon. I'll be okay. I always get super emotional about this topic.
Cheer 100 pats, Ember.
Thanks, Tysel. But yeah, when I hear someone trying to make the excuse of, you have to treat me good because of these autistic traits that I actually probably don't even possess, it infuriates me.
Cheer 100. We doing this now? Okay, Tilda.
Thanks, Zeb. Yeah. Emperor Wolf, yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. I've ranted on this enough.
You. And it's well, I'm that, but I'm also autistic because I said so. Or I'm also, I have ADHD and I have all this other crap. And it's you keep adding on to the things. And sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. But they just keep saying it to try to make themselves more and more and more.
Just checking.
Thank you.
ADHD stands for Anaconda Deficit Hutton Disorder, right?
Spanish. I'll give you just a light bug on that. And Leo, thank you for 5 gifted.
More special. And you're supposed to, so basically it ends up being a percentage point, a fraction of a percentage point of people they're supposed to be catered to by everyone because they've added to my checkboxes. And it's absolute bullshit. Yeah. This is stupid.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't meet people's needs by all means if you can do, but understand too that there are a lot of other people in the world besides you.
Yeah, I mean, this is just ridiculous.
I want to go up to these people and go, who diagnosed you with autism? Who fucking diagnosed you? And if they say, oh, I never got diagnosed, what the fuck are you talking about? Because, chat, I've said this before. I suspect that I probably have autism myself. I recognize a lot of the traits that I possess in what my family member possesses, just on a more high-functioning level. So, I very strongly believe that I am probably autistic myself. Do I go around and read at people, don't do this because I'm autistic? No. If someone does something that I don't like, you deal with it. When you are high-functioning, you fucking deal with it. And I don't go around espousing that I'm autistic or crowing about the traits that I've recognized in myself that lend credence to a strong credence to the possibility that I have it. I just recognize it in myself and I address it. That's what people that are high-functioning autistic anyway, that's what they do. They recognize these traits in themselves and they address it. They don't go reeing. I'm getting overstimulated. Please stop. I'm getting overstimulated. You have to stop doing that. No. That's not what people with actual autism do.
Ridiculous. I mean, you cannot accommodate everybody.
The dicks are ridiculous.
Modify that space to make sure that everybody is able to move in the ways that they need to move. And additionally with the...
Cheer 100 to make smiles and happiness.
Thank you, Elstor. Did you hear what he just said? To make space to make sure everybody can move the way they... He's literally treating this entire audience like they're autistic. That's what he's doing. This motherfucker is treating this entire audience, of which, if any of them are autistic, I'll be a little surprised. He's treating them carte blanche. He's blanket labeling them as autistic so they can move the way they want, because that's what you do with autistic people.
These people don't care about those who are actually suffering, because they only care about themselves and the attention they receive. Cheer 1700.
Andrea, thank you very much. And yes, you're right. They're users. They are 100% users. They are. And what he's doing is he's basically treating all of them like they're autistics that can't control themselves, they can't sit still. Because that's what you do. For many, like, severely autistic individuals, they do need to move. A lot of them like to move. They like to, they like to stim. That's what it's called. When autistic people, like, move. It's a self-regulating behavior called stimming. He's treating them all like they're autistic. Or Robo-Spartan, OCD. Something like that. He's blanket labeling everyone in this auditorium with a mental disorder. And I'm pretty sure that's not the purpose of this gathering.
The noise issue, like avoid hissing, avoid waving banners, right?
Are
because
they?
There's all sorts of things. You don't know what to do. Show up these, right? I'm sure there's lots of ways that we can communicate to each other without needing to rely on
I can communicate that
that's
word.
going to...
Allison, this was back in 2018. Is it? Because it looks like it says it's 2018 there. So this was like 4 years ago. No, sorry. This was like 6 years ago. God is...
Please forgive me. I see the hype train and I am a sucker for them. Cheer
Thank
5000.
Thank you, Elstor. Thank you. Thank you for 5,000. Yeah, it's funny because, the same shit's happening today. It still is.
Hurt somebody else.
Use my favorite
We have
finger.
quiet rooms that are available. There's a range of options.
Cheer 100 HYPPEE.
Thank you, Tysel.
Of these, right?
Then
Please
leave.
don't go
Wait.
into that
You have
space
quiet
or
rooms
anything.
available. Then leave. If it's too much, leave the damn room and go to a quiet room. Why are you up there telling everybody else they have to do? God, can we just not watch this? Because this is my trigger. Stupidity.
So
Zeb, thank you. Thank you for 5 more gifted. Thank you, guys.
here's the thing. It's Bluesky. Yeah, if
Poor
you're
person, never gonna live that picture down. Anyway,
they had an interview with her. I think her name is.
She normal now?
I don't know. She said it wasn't supposed to happen the way that it happened, and she was kind of playing it up. She says,
Yeah.
but
well, then he deserved to get mocked.
yeah. I won't even comment on this image. But
Keep it going, break the kitty.
I don't know. I'm gonna follow this account because I just kind of, I guess my thing is like I want that hit of nostalgia. If you ever want to be reminded of how far things had gone on Twitter, all you have to do is go Bluesky for.
Wow. Chat, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Right here. First comment on this. Are you seeing this comment? It's too small? First poster, this MC person. It's just, you guys can see what the picture is, right? And the caption is something, make America healthy again. which is basically, obviously a joke about all these guys are pounding McDonald's. The first comment is, come on, universe, do us a solid and take this entire jet down, and 3 fingers crossed emojis. That's the first comment that we're seeing here. Again, someone advocating for people to be unalived. Yeah. Bluesky's great, isn't it? Oh, and by the way, someone replied to that, this is evil, how does this make you a better person? Referring to the other commenter?
Cheer 100 some biddy for the kitty.
He drop kick. Yeah, this person says, this is evil, how does this make you a better make you a better person? And then someone replies, it's not evil at all, it would literally save more lives than it would lose. And then this person again, trying to be rational, says, wishing death is not a positive, it's evil. You're no better than them.
Cheer 100 itty bitty. Bitty committee. Less than 3.
Take you thyself. Oh, you just got a badge too. Congrats. Yeah, yes, he is. And again, this is the echo chamber never ceases.
15, 20 minutes. You'll be like, oh shit, yeah. I might have concerns about Elon Musk. I might not like X now. I might not like the fact that it's pay to play at this point, but it's a shit ton better than what it used to be.
I'm sorry. This is funny. They brought the Bluesky logos as butterflies, the national butterfly of Israel.
That got so much bigger than I thought it would. Holy shit!
I'm back. What did I miss?
Sniper Bay? Thank you for the dono. Thank you so much. Oh my god, thank you. You missed me going crazy at people. Appropriating, because that's what this is, appropriating mental disorders that are incredibly personal to me. That's what you missed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, oh, I know, Corey. I know. We kind of started to go down that path. I know.
I don't think it has anything to do with being Israel. I think it has everything to do with it. Twitter was the blue birds, and now they're trying to do the blue butterfly.
Yeah.
But that's hilarious.
Got banned from Bluesky within the first 30 seconds for posting a biological fact. Oh yeah, because they'll mass report you. Wow, that was quick.
I know, Corey. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Just saying, if you want some nonsense,
Well, just say Trump won the election.
Thanks for all the fish. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Guys, thank you.
Get you banned over there.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Because it might trigger somebody. It's like, well, geez, don't turn on the news in January because you're really going to get triggered. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to Clownfish.
Cheer 100 level 7? Damn. Less than 3.
Thank you, Tysel. Like you guys haven't been trying to already? No, you guys aren't bright. Okay. I hate to disappoint you guys. You're not breaking me, you're making me feel better. After seeing that, after raging like that, you're making me feel better.